problems we have. Now, when Hashem is telling you that Shabbat is the equivalent of idol worship, there's several verses that talk about it. What most people that don't know this, unfortunately, don't keep Shabbat. One of the things that in Parashat Ki Tisa, Hashem is telling us that someone that violates Shabbat he's telling you outright what his opinion is. So it's not a rabbi that told us this. It's not a possible understanding or that could be wrong. It's not anything like that. There's two really good examples. There's many of them. It's mentioned in the Torah more than anything else, Shabbat. But there's two really, really critical examples that we need to know. Because again, sometimes even if you're keeping Shabbat, you need something to strengthen you. Sometimes even if you're keeping Shabbat, you don't really feel like it. You don't really feel like it. It's like, I really want to watch TV right now. I wish I wasn't keeping Shabbat. Or, you know what, the air conditioner is too high. I wish I could lower it. You don't do it, but you're thinking about it. So knowing the significance of Shabbat is even important for everyone that's keeping Shabbat. Obviously, if you're not keeping Shabbat, then it's good for you to know what Hashem's opinion is. Hashem says, someone who doesn't keep Shabbat, mot yumat v'nichreta nefesh me'amea, death upon death, and cut off from the nation. So let's explain what that means. Now, if someone dies, they can't die twice, right? Die once, that's it. So why does it say mot yumat, death upon death? One death is this life. Second death is in the next life, the eternal life. The olam haba, no olam haba. V'nichreta nefesh me'amea means they're not considered Jewish. Cut off from the nation. What nation do we have? Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael is a Jewish nation. Someone is cut off. He's already died. So you can't say the nichreta nefesh me'amea means death again. He already died twice. Died here, died there. There's no more death. So he's saying that you have, unfortunately, millions of Jews that technically, according to the Torah, are not considered Jewish. Now, of course, they could all do tshuva. They could all keep Shabbat. And if someone keeps Shabbat from this point on to the rest of their life, and they do it because they love it, they do it because they believe in it, Hashem can turn all of the Shabbatot that they missed out on into mitzvot. And on top of that, you're still going to show up to Shamayim, and I say, okay, listen, you lived in this world 50 years, 60 years, 30 years, whatever it is. You didn't keep Shabbat. There was a few Shabbats you missed, but I know the rest of your life you kept. But how did you make up for it? How did you make up for it by all those Shabbats? Technically, you still missed some Shabbat. How do you make up for it? You make other people keep Shabbat. Help other people that don't know what Shabbat is, help them keep Shabbat. Because now every Shabbat that other person keeps, it comes to your account also. So now instead of keeping one Shabbat, you kept 2 Shabbats. And if that person is married, then it's 3 Shabbats. And if they have kids, and they have 3 kids, so it's 5 Shabbats plus yours, 6 Shabbats. If you help one family, it's like every Shabbat is like 7 Shabbats for you. So you're making up for 50 years of not keeping Shabbat. But the most important thing is to know the consequence of not keeping Shabbat. As far as death in this world, you see, you can ask, the first question should come to your mind is, okay, somebody I know didn't keep Shabbat. He didn't die. We survived. So maybe there's a mistake in the Torah, chas v'shalom? No. So Hashem said, during the generation of Moshe Rabbeinu, when there were open miracles, people saw the words of God in Shamayim. People heard Hashem's voice. People saw miracles every day. There was food from heaven coming down every day. Imagine, every day you wake up and you have whatever you want to eat. You don't have to worry about working. Imagine you never have to do laundry. Every woman was probably excited about not doing laundry.
I like laundry actually.
You like laundry? Okay.
It's my relaxed time in the morning. I do the dish laundry.
Oh, laundry. Okay, so you're 1 in a million. For every klal, it's a klal.
That's my relaxed time.
So, not having to do laundry for 40 years. 40 years we're in a desert, we don't have to do laundry. 40 years we're in a desert, we don't have to go to the bathroom. Because the man is completely absorbed by a bloodstream. Completely absorbed. So you have miracles every day. But technically, we still just got the Torah. Right now, we're 3,300 years, or more than 3,300 years, after the Torah. After we got the Torah. So, we shouldn't have an excuse. We have a long, long time. We should have gotten used to the Torah. But anybody that violated the Torah, at, let's say, a week after we got the Torah, if Hashem is gonna, let's say, close one of his eyes and say, you know what, I didn't see that, don't worry about it. You violated Shabbat, it's no big deal. If Hashem thought that Shabbat is not a big deal, that's the time you should do it. Right? Somebody that's already been studying Torah for 3,000 years says, listen, you have 3,000 years. You have sages upon rabbis, upon tzaddikim, and so many books. You have hundreds of thousands of books that have been written about Judaism. So by now, at some point, you read the newspaper, you can read one of my books. It says, keep Shabbat. Right? But so we say, us, we don't have an excuse. But the guy that violated it a week later, we just got the Torah. If somebody violated a week later, Hashem should say, no big deal. There was actually a story in the Torah about a person by the name of Tzlofchad. Tzlofchad was actually a tzaddik. He wasn't a rasha. He wasn't someone that was going against Hashem. But Tzlofchad took actions upon himself and he violated Shabbat. This is a week after we got the Torah. We kept one Shabbat. The second Shabbat, Tzlofchad violated Shabbat. So now Moshe Rabbeinu, this is the first violation of Shabbat. Moshe Rabbeinu comes to Hashem and he puts him in jail. He says, Hashem, what do I do with him? Now if Hashem didn't think that Shabbat's a big deal, this is the time he should say, okay, you know what? They just got the Torah, they didn't learn yet. Let him go. He's a nice guy, he's a tzaddik, he gave tzedakah, he goes to Beit Knesset, he wears tefillin, he does everything else, no big deal. This is the time he should do it. That's not what it says. Hashem responds to Moshe Rabbeinu, and he says, kill him in front of the entire nation.
Yeah, they did.
Not only kill him, but kill him in front of everyone. Tzaddik, not a rasha. Not someone that cursed Hashem, or someone that went and became friends with the Egyptians. This is someone that's righteous. And we just got the Torah. We didn't even have enough time to learn the whole thing yet. We didn't even have enough time to get to know the Torah, and he gave him the worst kind of death. There's 4 kinds of death, 4 types of punishments.
Skila.
And the last one, he got skila, he got stoned. Even if he did it for Shem Shammai. And everything that he did was actually to sanctify Hashem's name.
Just to see what
will happen? To show the rest of the nation that Hashem is serious. That Hashem is serious about Shabbat. So now let me ask you a question. We just got the Torah. We didn't even learn all of it yet. But Tzlofchad violated the Shabbat. He turned on the television on Shabbat. He switched a few stations on Shabbat. And Hashem said, kill him in front of the entire nation. So if he didn't let him go, and he was tzaddik in everything else, he's perfect. Here, violated Shabbat. Hashem didn't give up on that. Do you think he's going to give up on somebody today? After he's had the Torah for 3,000 years, he can't say, I don't know. You watch YouTube? Okay, you can watch junk, but you can also watch Torah. You know how to read? You can read Torah. You can't have an excuse, I don't know. In today's world, there's very, very few people that can be considered tinok shenishba, meaning people that are completely unfamiliar with Judaism whatsoever. Because in today's age, there's internet, there's people who are much more open about our Judaism. It's not like back in the day, we were afraid to even wear a kippah. Yeah, maybe there's some places in the world, like France right now, that people are scared to wear a kippah, but in general, people know what Judaism is. So no one can say, no, even the Goyim know what Shabbat is. There's even a sect of Christianity, actually, right now, that started to keep Shabbat the way they understand it. It's wrong, but anyway, even Christians are starting to get to a point where they're saying, you know what, we're wrong, Shabbat is not Sunday, it's Saturday. So even the Goyim know that Shabbat exists.
7 days, it should be 7 days.
And that's also one of the other proofs, by the way.
There's few million.
One of the...
Bolivians and Jewish.
one of the best proofs that the Torah couldn't have come from a human being, one of the best proofs that it couldn't be written by Moshe Rabbeinu, it couldn't be written by Rabbi Akiva, it couldn't be written by me or you or any human being, is that the only reason why there are 7 days in 1 week is because of the Torah. There's no other reason whatsoever. There's no scientific reason. There's no other document that says that there should be 7 days in a week. There's only one document that says there should be 7 days in a week, and that's the Torah. It was written a little over 3,300 years ago, and until this day, it's the only thing that everyone agrees on. Everything else everybody disagrees on. But 7 days, 24 hours, everyone agrees. So the beauty of the Torah is that there's a lot of things that we see that we all agree with. There's a lot of things that we see that it's true. There's a lot of wisdom in the Torah that shows that it had to come from a source that's far, far beyond us. When Hashem is telling you that violating the Shabbat is not a forgivable sin if you don't do tshuva, He's not joking. He's not joking. Watching TV on Shabbat, driving your car on Shabbat, playing with whatever electronic or whatever fire, it's not a joke. Someone says, you know what, maybe electricity is not the same. They didn't have electricity back then, so today it's different. Electricity is not fire. So Rabbi Mizrahi actually said something very funny but very true one time. He says, okay, let's test it. Let's test if electricity is fire. You hold a light bulb, and if you hold it for 5 minutes and you don't go on fire, then it's not electricity. Obviously, it's going to go on fire. It's fire. Electricity is fire. It's 100% fire.